Hi everyone, welcome back to Ferrum Forge. Chris here, and today we're going to do a little video on how to tighten the pivot screw on your Gent and the issues that can alleviate for you. So right off the bat, I have a Gent here, and this one you can see is very off center. Right, just doesn't look right. When we flip it, flips, still locks, but we have a lot of side-to-side play in the blade. So that just means that we need to tighten the pivot screw. That should take care of all of these little issues. So what you're going to need to tighten the pivot screw on your Gent is a T6 and a #1 Phillips head. On this one, we don't need the T8. So let's get right into it on how to get to the pivot screw on the Gent. So the pivot screw, to tighten and loosen it, is located on the lock side of the knife. So in order to get to it, we're going to have to pull off the pocket clip and this overlay. So these are all T6 screws, and this is another instance where we want to push down in towards the knife like this before we start turning so that we don't strip anything out, and then back it out. Pushing this way, backing it out. And once they're loose, all the way loose, right, take it out. Keep these together because the screws for the pocket clip are a little bit longer than the screws for the overlay. Now the pocket clip's off, we're going to take this overlay off on the lock side. Keep your screws separate. I'm going to lift off the G10, or if you have the rosewood or the carbon fiber, whatever the overlay is, this operation is still all the same. So we're going to pull that off. You can see here with the overlay off that we have this the small Phillips head. This is the pivot screw. Right, this is the thing that we want to tighten, and while you have it apart, you might as well Loctite it. So for this instance, I'm going to pull the pivot screw all the way out, because I'm going to put some Loctite on it, and then we're going to put it back together. Pull that pivot screw out. There it is. We're going to do one small drop of Loctite. Always a small drop. There it is. So we're going to do one little drop right on the tip. I'm going to run this back in. Let's see if I can pull. Here we go. So you can see the blade, and as I continue to tighten this down, the blade will pull back to center. There it is. All right, so I'm just snugging down the pivot screw. All right, let's see how the action is. Crisp. Do we have any side-to-side play? I still have a little bit of side-to-side play, so we're going to tighten it down just a little bit more. There it is. Just snug. So let's check it out. We're doing, looking nice and centered. Feels good. Do we have any side-to-side play? Nope. Excellent. Now that our pivot screw is tightened down and Loctited, then we're just going to rebuild it. Put your overlay back on. We're going to reattach our screws. Now for these little machine screws, because these are very tiny, right? Instead of just driving down, what you want to do, see if I can if we can get the click. Hear that? That's the thread sitting down in place, and then they just easily screw in. Oop, be careful that you don't do that. Let's do it on this one. There. Snug it up. And then we'll reattach the pocket clip. Right, now these screws are a little bit longer than the screws that go on the overlay, so you want to make sure that these stay with the pocket clip. Same thing with these. We're gonna turn them counterclockwise until we feel the threads click in right there. And I'm still pushing down this way to make sure we don't strip out the head. On this one, there it is. Clicks in. Snug it down. And there we go. That is how to tighten and Loctite the pivot screw on your Gent. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section. We'll try and get back to you. As always, give us a like, a thumbs up, something. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing a lot more how-to videos and informational videos about knives and steel and everything that you want to do. So stay tuned.